Alright, y'all, so I have a pretty exciting update regarding the album. Drumroll, please. Do. The album is done, and I have a release date figured out, have the album cover made, have the animated album cover made, and everything in between. So where do we even begin with this? Okay, so if you're out of the loop, basically, I've been working on an album for the last 6 years called Survivor, and I didn't even really decide to make it an official album until, like, just a few months ago, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go all in, I'm gonna start turning this thing into an album, but, a lot of the music, whether we're talking lyrically or especially instrumentally, it's mainly the instrumentals. A lot of the lyrics I actually ended up writing recently, but a lot of the instrumentals, especially, they were written and recorded over the course of the last 6 years, just kind of as I had emotions to kind of dump into all of it, and I've just sort of recently been piecing it all together, piecing together what I felt like fits with the theme and the story of the album and whatnot, and yeah, it's been turning out pretty good, and now we're finally at the point where the album is officially complete. So first things first, if you don't follow me on Instagram, then you haven't seen the album cover, you haven't seen the animated album cover, you haven't seen any of that. So first things first, I'll put the album cover, the static one on your screen. 3, 2, 1, there you go. There is the album cover, and that is the static one. I really like the glitch effects that I have on it because it lets some of the color from my red hair that I had at the time sort of like pierce through the black and white filter, so it just looks really cool. And now I'll go ahead and put up the animated album cover, and 3, 2, 1, there you go. There is the animated album cover. That is what you're going to see on Spotify, Apple Music, any of those other websites that support animated album covers, as well as any time that you like listen to one of my songs on YouTube. That is what you'll see. And then in terms of the track list, 3, 2, 1, there it is on your screen once again. Yeah, so that is the complete track list. In total, there is like 10 songs, and then there's like, there's like an intro and an interlude or whatnot, but that is the finalized track list. And now the release date. Since this is an album that is like all about me and my life and my story and whatnot, I decided it would only be fitting that I release this album on my birthday, which means that this album will be releasing October 26th, 2025. This is very exciting for me. I used to make music a lot back in like high school, for example, with my friends. I used to make some really corny music, just yelling into a microphone, going off beat half the time, and just doing our thing. But now, now that I'm a bit more mature, a bit older, and just, I don't know, just been through a whole lot of shit and have had time to like perfect my craft and whatnot, when it comes to like making music, writing lyrics, this, that, and the other. And especially like on the production side of things, whether we're talking like mixing, mastering, etc. Yeah, I'm really proud of how this album has turned out. I'm really proud of how it sounds. It's a pretty kick-ass album, and that says a lot because I'm the type of person where I'll make something, and even if it's actually kind of like objectively good, I'll be like, oh, well, that's a pile of shit. But this is the one exception where I've been listening back to it, and I'm like, you know what? This is pretty damn cool. It's pretty damn good, and I can't wait for the rest of the world to hear it. And you guys will be able to hear it in about 4 months. Though I will spoil it and say, you're not gonna have to wait 4 whole months in order to hear it, like hear any of the music, because I will be putting out some singles. I'm not sure how many singles I'm actually gonna put out. Maybe 2, maybe 3 tops. I think just 2. I think 2 is like the safe zone. We'll go like 1 single by, I don't know, sometime in July or August maybe, and then like maybe another one leading up to it, and then we'll just kind of have that period of like, okay, what's gonna happen, and then boom, it like releases, and it is what it is. I will also say I posted a thing up on my Instagram saying that this album won't have like a widespread physical release, but I am doing a very limited run of like 10 signed CDs. So, if you want a signed Grotesque CD, go follow me on Instagram at GrotesqueIG, check my story, and reply to the story that I posted, because it'll still be there by the time you go over there. Just reach out in the DMs whenever, really, and just be like, hey, I want one of them signed CDs, and if there's still some available, I got you. But if you're seeing this video, there's a good chance they're probably all gone because my inbox was already getting flooded this morning. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Originally, I was going to go off of like the 10 first people, but maybe that wouldn't be exactly fair because of time zones and whatnot. So I think I'll just go like 10 random people. I'll just like scroll through, close my eyes, and just like, tap on random names until I figure out who gets CDs, who doesn't, etc. Also, I'm going to be doing some cool stuff to celebrate the release of the album. I can't spoil what it is just yet, but I'm going to be doing some pretty cool stuff. So you guys will see that when it happens. And otherwise, yeah, man, I don't know. Working on this album, I will say this. I'm still, how do I put this? The album is complete, but I still have to put some finishing touches on it. But I'm just glad that I'm starting to get out of the depths of album creation because, oh my goodness, dude, making this album was hell. Like, I don't put that lightly, man. Like, I don't just say that lightly, like, whatever, like, oh my goodness, dude. I've worked on a lot of music before, but this album made me feel terrible, dude. Like, it was cool because it was like, okay, This is my story. This is a lot of the stuff that's been on my mind and my heart, and I just want to get it out. I just want to say my truth, speak my truth, take all the nitty-gritty, disgusting demons in my heart and my chest and my soul and pour it into this album. But doing that, there's a difference between sitting with your pain and then sulking in your pain long enough to turn it into art and turn it into words and figure out how to put emotions which in themselves are... How do I explain this? You can't really describe emotions. You can try, but you really just can't. So trying to take those emotions that you can't really describe and putting it into words is hell. All in all, though, now that I'm on the other side of it and like basically like everything's all good to go, you know, we're just kind of like smooth sailing for the next 4 months and I'm kind of out of the weeds. It's kind of like that sigh of relief, like, okay, we're good. I don't need to like emotionally kill myself every single day anymore. Like, we're good. I can just like smile and everything's fine. Because it's one of those things where there was a few times where I was actually genuinely kind of feeling good and then I was like, wait, I gotta write something for this album real quick. Well, damn it, now I gotta feel terrible again. I know that sounds so unhealthy, but for what this album was going for, it was, you know, it was kind of necessary. But yeah, so I think the next time I make an album, I think I'm going to maybe not make the whole thing just like, hey, here's everything wrong with me on a single CD. But for all intents and purposes, that's what this album is, and I don't know when the hell the next one would happen, if ever. So, yeah, we're just gonna focus on the here and now and say that I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Originally, I kind of wanted to make like a documentary thing too, and I recorded some of it. I don't know if I should actually release it though, because it was actually kind of fucked up. But yeah, I tried making a documentary, but it was just so like... It was more depressing to watch than it was listening to the music, because I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop recording this shit, because this is just, this can't go on YouTube. So I think I'm just gonna delete that off my hard drives and just pretend it never existed, or maybe it'll show up as like lost media one day or something. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk about or cover before we end this video. Okay, so I covered like the release date, the album cover, the track list and everything. If you're curious as to like what platforms it'll be available on, it'll be available in like everything. Think like Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, like all that stuff. It's gonna be everywhere. Oh, and down the line, that's what I was gonna say, I do plan to do a slightly limited like vinyl release, because like similar to how I'm doing with the CDs, where I'm only doing like 10 of those, and I'll probably make like one for myself just to kind of have. I am also planning on doing a limited vinyl release down the line, so if you're interested in vinyl, especially a signed one, then I could hook you up with one of those. Again, just message me on Instagram. But otherwise, yeah, I don't want to drag this video out. I just wanted to give you guys that exciting update and let you know that October 26th, 2025, Grotesque and his new album Survivor will be on a streaming platform near you. Yeah. But anyway, as always, best to shout out to the Patrons and channel members taking all doing the low ball tier, and if you're shouting the ball team, asking and be dead, and many of the channel on DJ round of only show. Thank you guys so much, guys. Literal legends. I love you. Good on you, Dodaki, arigatou gozaimasu. Have an amazing day, stay beautiful. I love you all.